and succeed.
Like most events in the Middle East, the recent Israeli operation in the Gaza Strip drew a great deal of the world's attention. For some, the reasons for the operation were clear.
The main reason behind this operation on Gaza was to show the Hamas that the state of Israel will not tolerate the continuous attack on our civilians.
The question is why we didn't make it earlier. And the answer is that the government waited as much as possible. I think that mainly because they had in mind the question of legitimacy. They want to be sure that we did everything to stop it internationally, politically, through the United Nations and so on and so forth. And only then the government felt free enough to react. And from my point of view, it was too late.
It's hard to believe that in the different calculations or considerations during the fighting, political partisan considerations did not come into the mind of the decision makers of the Israeli side.
How much of what we do comes out of a sense of revenge, or is it really, really something to do with our security? There isn't a black and white picture here. There's a lot of gray material.
Disagreements by some about the real reasons for the operation were evident only a few days after the operation began. Soon after, questions were raised about the timing of the strike and its consequences.
It was prolonged too much, and because of this unjustified prolongation, it caused also too much suffering to the civilian population in Gaza. When you cause this kind of suffering, you cause more hatred towards Israel, and the chances to convince the Gaza population to come to terms with Israel, this is something that is being damaged by this kind of operation.
No question that the pictures of dead children, women, the destruction on the streets of Gaza are very emotional. And it's not easy to look at. And it does not surprise me that even the Prime Minister said that he cried when he saw some of these pictures. But there is no any other way to fight terrorism which acted within civilians, but in this way.
When the media goes away, and when the people get back to trying to recover their lives back, both in Israel and in Palestine and in Gaza, all that's left behind for the people is really more broken hearts and more bereaved families, and also a future generation of haters.
Robbie lost her son David in 2004 when he was shot and killed by a Palestinian sniper. Since then, she's been volunteering with other bereaved parents who are pushing for renewed dialogue.
I spent many, many nights thinking about what to do. And after I wrote the letter, there was, to the family of the sniper who killed David, there was a sense of relief, because I was no longer the victim. I discovered that he, as a small child, had seen his uncle very violently killed in front of him. And also, he lost two uncles in the Second Intifada. So I began, and he went on a path of revenge. We have to get out of the cycle of revenge, because you know what? There's no revenge for a lost child. I would do anything on earth, anything, if I could see David again. But there isn't anything that I can do. And the best thing that I can do, and the work that I can do in his name, is education. This is my way of commemorating my child.
Of course, the most important question remaining is what's going to happen next in the Middle East?
If the Palestinians will stick to Hamas, I believe that at the end of the day we will not have any other option but to reconquer Gaza and to clean it from terrorists, munition, explosive, and so on and so forth. And then it will be like the West Bank. Did you hear something about the West Bank in the last 5 years? The only way to fight terrorism, and this is the experience of all the military organizations around the world, is to gain control on the ground.
What we really need is some kind of a new beginning with the assumption that we still have a partner and we still may have a chance to make peace. Because without this assumption, nothing will succeed.
If our leaders would only get to that point of understanding the pain of the other, the historical narrative of the other, the culture of the other, then maybe we could start to negotiate from that point, and not from this point of revenge, of this whole cycle which we never seem to be able to stop.